So, Austrian Grand Prix at the weekend. There's rarely a dull race at the Red Bull Ring, and this weekend's race definitely delivered as it usually does. So, I'm going to deliver now with the 5 things that we learned from this weekend's race in Formula 1. So, let's start about the start, because a very key thing happened in that Kimi Antonelli basically went all wrecking ball and just went straight into the side of Max Verstappen, sending the Dutchman out of the race. He actually made quite a good start. He made quite a few positions off the start there. He had quite a poor qualifying by his standards. I think he started like P7, something like that. But by the end of the first lap, and before the end of the first lap, in truth, of course, he was out of the race. There was big contact there. He knew straight away that he was out of the race, as was Kimi Antonelli as well. A bit sad, to be honest with you. This is a guy that has dominated here in recent times. Won 5 times around the Red Bull Ring. Won 4 times at the Austrian Grand Prix, the record for this event in Formula 1. Very disappointing to go out like that, but that is sometimes how the cookie crumbles, unfortunately, and it very much fell apart very quickly for Verstappen. And with that, in truth, I think his championship chances are over. Now it's up to like, what, a 70-point gap in the championship between him and Oscar Piastri. As good as Max Verstappen is, I don't see him making that up, especially with how inconsistent that car is, because let's talk about Yuki Tsunoda as well. What a terrible day it was for him. He was putting in some really risky moves here and there during this Grand Prix on some of his opponents. I mean, he started pretty far down. He was out in Q1. It was a pretty poor Saturday, to say the least, and he was last, effectively. He was the last of the runners, 2 laps down in a Red Bull. Now, I know that car is difficult to drive. I know he's probably overdriving it, but to be dead last behind the likes of Colapinto, who was having a terrible race by his own rights as well, nearly took out Oscar Piastri while being lapped. It's not good. It's not a good sign, that. I'm not saying they should make a change. I don't think that's the answer, but Red Bull are going to be considering it. We know how they work and operate. They will definitely be thinking about it, because Tsunoda right now, these results are not getting better. They are getting worse. It was a terrible day for Yuki in that second Red Bull. So, all in all, I mean, a great day for Racing Bulls. I mean, Lawson got a fantastic P6 in the end, so great day for him. But the Red Bull Racing team around the Red Bull Ring, no, this was not the one. Definitely not. But it definitely was the one for McLaren. They dominated this race from start to finish. Charles Leclerc managed to start alongside Lando Norris on the front row of the grid, but Oscar Piastri powered through before the end of the first lap to get past the Ferrari and into P2. And from there, the Papaya cars never looked backwards. Or at least Piastri never looked back anyway, because his sole focus was trying to overtake Lando Norris, and he gave it a really good go. There were a number of opportunities where he got very close to making a move, but Lando held on. He got his elbows out. He defended well. There was that one move that Piastri did that was a little bit dodgy, and they came on the radio and said, you know, don't go doing that. That was a bit borderline, a bit marginal. We'll talk about that more in depth in a separate video for you guys. But overall, a fantastic day for McLaren. 19 seconds ahead of the nearest car, which was Charles Leclerc in P3. In truth, they could have won it by 30, 40 seconds, I think. They were that much clearer of the rest of the field. They were just relatively taking it easy, probably at that point, when they knew their only competition was each other. Turn the wick down, so to speak. I know you can't turn your engine down these days, but take it relatively easy. You know how it is. But yeah, Ferrari, number 4th thing that we learned. Ferrari, are they back? Well, they look pretty good this weekend, I must say. I mean, I was a bit skeptical after qualifying, because, you know, P2 and P4, are they going to be able to keep that up in the race in terms of their pace? The answer to that was firmly yes. Lewis Hamilton managed to finish where he started in P4, and Charles Leclerc managed to get a podium in P3. It's second best team. With how good McLaren are this season, that is a very, very good weekend for Ferrari. Can they sustain that around Silverstone? Well, it's another high-speed circuit, so probably can. We'll have to see what happens, guys. But Ferrari looking good for that second place in the Constructors' Championship. Also looking really good was Sauber. Double points this week, and the first points in his career in Formula 1 for Gabriel Bortoleto in P8. Pulled off a number of great overtakes in this one. Really, really solid from Sauber. Their car looked really good. Nico Hülkenberg getting P9 as well. 3-point scores in a row for the Hulk. He is smashing it right now, as is Sauber. They now have around double the points of Alpine behind them in the Constructors' Championship. Yes, they're only in 9th, but for them to be challenging the likes of RB and Haas up there in the Championship, with how bad that car is, I think they're doing a standout job. They're doing a really, really good job of optimizing what is a poor car, and they are putting themselves in a very comfortable position, a very optimistic position heading into 2026 and their rebrand to Audi. But yeah, really good race, guys. Really enjoyed watching this one. What did you think about it? Let us know in the comments below. Who was your driver of the day? For me, I'm going to go Lando Norris. I was tempted to go Gabriel Bortoleto, but I'll go relatively boring. I'll go for Lando Norris because with all the pressure that's been on him, all the pressure, everybody's saying he's a bottle job, he's going to mess up this championship, it's over, Piastri's got it done. He really, really proved that when the going was tough, the tough got going, and he performed. He really, really performed well. So I'm going to give it for him, because if he didn't win that race, if Piastri won that race, I feel like it would have been it. It would have been dead and buried, more than a win behind at that point. Well, more than a win behind at that point. He would have been more than a victory behind his teammate at that point. It really would have just destroyed his confidence, I think, especially going into his home race at Silverstone. But now he will be full of hope heading into his home race. So yeah, like, share, comment, subscribe if you want to see more like this, guys. Have a fantastic day wherever in the world today, and we'll see you soon for much more content like this, guys, here on the channel.